Hi everybody, I'm Birdsnake, and in this set of lessons we're going to talk about music theory. My goal in this set of lessons is to give you a clear understanding of what theory is so that you can move forward and begin to learn how music works. So music theory is essentially a vocabulary or a set of ideas that we use to describe music. Music theory is what we use to describe how scales are made from notes, how chords are made from scales, how chord progressions and songs are made from chords and keys. All that is in music theory. Most people break music theory down into melody, harmony, and rhythm. And in this set of lessons, we're going to focus mainly on melody and harmony. And right now, what I'm going to do is give you a breakdown of how music theory applies to something basic. So let's say we have a song that goes G, C, D. Okay, so from the bottom up, the way theory applies to this song in GCD goes like this. You've got notes of the G major scale. The first note's a G, the fourth note's a C, and the fifth note's a D. So G, C, D. Now, the G chord. It's made from the first, third, and fifth notes of the G major scale. The C chord is made from the fourth, the sixth, and the first note of the G major scale. And then the D chord is made from the fifth, seventh, and second notes of the major scale. So everything in this GCD chord progression is coming from the G major scale. So inside of here, there's a melody that's going G, E, F sharp. A melody is when one note is played after the other. Now listen for that. Now listen for it. You can hear it in there. So this is a melody. The notes that make up the chord all together is harmony. So just to put it as plainly as possible, notes that come one after the other are melodies, and notes that happen all at once, chords, are harmony. That's harmony, and this is a melody. So I said scales are made from notes, and what determines how it sounds or what scale it is how much space is between each note. So with the G major scale example that I'm using, you have a note, then you skip one, then you skip another one, and then you don't skip one, and then you skip one, you skip one, you skip one, and you don't skip one to get back to the G. So the amount of space between each note is what gave that scale its sound. Let me play the G minor scale for you. It has spaces in different places. So listen to G minor. It sounds different, and that's because of how much space there is between each note. Skip one, don't skip one, skip one, skip one, don't skip one, skip one, skip one, and back to G. So the way notes make up a scale and the way that scale sounds is determined by the space between each note. So the things I want you to take away from this video are scales are made up of notes, and they sound the way they sound because of how much space is between each note. Chords come from the notes within a scale. So in our G major example, if I wanted to come up with a melody, I know that I can use any note from the G major scale because I'm in the key of G major. So that's how I came up with this melody. G, E, F sharp is the first, sixth, and seventh note of the major scale in G. And then the way the chords are actually built is also based on the notes of the scale. So I'm playing a regular G here, but I could play another G that uses, let's say, the seventh note. So I'll use the first note, the third note, the fifth note, and the seventh note. So I still have a song in G major, everything works, everything sounds good, and I used the scale to decide what notes I could put in the chord. So the things to remember from this video A melody is a series of notes. Notes make up scales. The space between each note is what makes the scale have its certain sound. Harmony is when you play more than one note together at the same time, or play a chord. In this example, we were in the key of G because everything was based around and started from the G major scale. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about the music staff and reading music and how that relates to guitar, and I'll give you some ideas about how much you really need to know to learn to play guitar. I'm Bird Snake. Thanks for watching.